Hello guys, so welcome back to my channel. Happy Friday. Today I actually am revealing, spilling the tea, honey. I asked you guys on my Instagram and on my Snapchat what video you guys wanted to see for today, which is Friday. I'm going to show you guys how I edit my Instagram pictures. I decided to do a very dramatic look. Oh girl, I did not blend my nose contour. Anyway, like I was saying, I decided to do like a very dramatic, very sultry eye look today because I really wanted to show you guys how to edit your pictures, especially when you're wearing makeup like this that is so bold. And I know the pain that sometimes when you take pictures, you're feeling yourself, you're like, girl, I look good today, my makeup is bomb. Then you take a picture and it's like, what the hell happened? I actually just used one app. That's all I use to edit my pictures. So if you guys want to know the tea on how I edit my Instagram pictures, then just keep on watching. I'm actually moving a little bit to the side because I'm going to put a little screen right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start recording on my phone. I hope that this works out. Let's see. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. So let's see. I'm going to open up FaceTune. FaceTune has been the app that I've been using for probably about a year now. And I mean, as you can see, this picture right here, this is the last picture that I uploaded on my Instagram. And it looks very crisp, very vivid, very rich in color. So let's go ahead and open up the pictures. I just took these pictures today. Obviously, I'm wearing the same outfit, same makeup. I honestly just kind of pick the ones that, excuse me, the ones that I like the best. I'm going to use this one because I have my eyes looking down, and as you can see, it's very intense as far as the outer corner, and in the picture you can't really see that. What I'm going to do first is I like to use the Retouch button, which is this one right here. And I always zoom into my pictures. Now, I learned this from James Charles. He always makes his backgrounds really white. And I actually really like that because it just makes everything more clean, more crisp. And then I bring it all the way up to 100. And I literally just go all over. My walls are white, but sometimes you just can't see that in pictures. So I'm just going to make everything white, and then I always click that little eraser button to make sure that I haven't highlighted anything that I don't want to. And then we're going to move on to this side over here, and then again I'm just going to whiten the walls. Sometimes it makes a big difference. It just depends on the lighting. And if you guys want to know what I use to take my pictures or where, I just use my phone. This is all I use. I don't use any cameras. I do have a camera, but I don't like how it takes pictures because it has a softening effect on the camera, and it just really makes my skin look almost too fake. So I just make pictures with my iPhone 8, and then I'm gonna check, see what a difference it makes. I mean, not like whoa, but it makes a difference. So I'm gonna go ahead and leave that as is. I'm gonna move on to the smoothing tool. The smoothing tool, I don't know, a lot of people feel like, oh, you shouldn't be smoothing your skin, blah, 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 because it's not real. Who cares? If you want to smooth your skin, do it. So what I like to do is I just kind of like to drag my finger a little bit, and then I will turn it down to about 50%, just because I don't want it to be too smooth, And then I will zoom into my skin and see where I have imperfections that I want to make a little bit better. So for example, right here around my nose, I have a little bit of texture, and that's just because of my pores. So I just tap a little bit just here and there, just so you can't tell that it's too smooth. And then I will go over a little bit over the highlighted area because I do have some texture there. I'm going to show you guys. See? So just like that. And then I have this ginormous pimple right there, and I literally just dab it a little bit. I don't mind if sometimes you can see that I have pimples on my skin because hello, that's reality. So there we have it. I also like to smooth my nose contour a little bit just so it doesn't look so harsh. And that is that. That's how much smoothing I do. It really depends how my skin is doing. Now I'm going to move to details. Details, this is going to make any like texture parts really pop out. So for example, the glitter that I'm wearing on the center of my eyes, I'm going to zoom in and I'm going to take my detail tool and I'm just going to go over it with my finger. I don't tap, I just go over it and smooth it out just like that. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with the details of the eyes, and now I'm going to move on to the, what else do I do? Vibrance. Now vibrance obviously is going to make everything pop. Zooming in, picking up the vibrance tool, and with this time I am just doing little tapping motions. And then I'm going to turn it down to about 50%, just because again I don't want it to look too intense. And then I'm going to check to see how it looks. Zoom out, you can tell a difference. And then I'm going to hit this little arrow, like the check mark, because I'm pretty satisfied with how everything looks. I'm going to show you guys what I like to do. So this has always been like such a huge insecurity of mine. This is a reason why I love to contour my nose, because I have such a wide nose and I've never loved it. I accept it, but I don't love it. So when I turn on the side, I don't know if you guys can tell, but I have a little bump, and I've always hated how that shows in pictures. So what I like to do is I like to take the reshape tool. I go into refine, and on this side my little bump is not as obvious. There's other pictures where you can see it a little bit more, and that's just me being a perfectionist. I know that it's not a big deal, but I literally will just grab it a little bit right where the bump is, just a little bit, not too much. And then, do you guys see the difference? And then I go to restore, and then I just hit the sides of the nose just so it's not distorted in any way. And then when I zoom out, I'm happy how my profile looks. Now we're going to move on to paint. Now the paint part is probably the most fun. So what I'm going to do really quickly is I'm going to go into tones. Tones is almost like painting. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for a dark brown color. So I'm going to zoom in and I'm going to look for a dark brown color, okay? Let's see if we find one. For example, this is a dark brown color, and then I'm first going to tone it down to about 58%. Picking up my little brush, and again, I'm just going over these areas because in real life, I mean, this is not technically lying because this is how my makeup looks in real life. It's very vibrant, and in the pictures, it's just not translating to that, okay? So again, picking up the tone tool with that dark brown, and I'm just tapping over the edges just so I can make them look a little bit darker. And this is going to make such a difference. There we go. You see? And then I will go back and do it to the center of the eyes. And then zoom out. So you just want to make sure that even if you are editing your pictures, that you make them look as good and as genuine as possible. I don't know if that makes any sense, but that's what I like to think. There we go. And then I'm just going to do it a little bit to this side since you can't see it, just a tiny bit. I'm going to move on to this side again, and I'm going to extend it. Do you guys see how I have like a little flick going on here? So I want to mimic almost that same look. And then you can always go back and erase anything if it's too much or if you know, whatever you did. So I'm pretty satisfied with that. Now what I'm going to do is I am going to pick up again the tone tool, and I'm going to go into a soft golden shade. Let's see. I'm going to go in with this tool right here. And I always like to hit the eraser tool because I've done it a few times where I've accidentally zoomed into my skin and then I swipe the color, and I don't want to do that. So I'm going to go into the tones tool, and I'm just going to emphasize the highlights a little bit. You can see it, but sometimes in pictures I just want it to pop and I literally just go over it. There is a glow tool that you can use, but I don't necessarily use that. On the inner corners of my eyes, I like to use this a lot just to make that inner corner pop. So again, zooming in and then just adding a little more. And I'm going to show you guys the difference. Oh, you can't see the difference, but it's there. And then again, I'm going to do the same thing to the other eye, just adding a little bit more brightness. And then as you can see right here on the bridge of the nose, I have a highlight, and then on the tip of my nose. So again, just emphasizing those areas. And that is it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the adjust tool. The adjust tool, you can turn up the saturation, you can make it lighter, there's brightness, contrast, color, sharpen, and they recently added the grain effect, which I love. I love adding the grain effect to almost all my pictures. It just gives it a little extra like pop. I don't know. We're gonna go into the contrast little tool. I love using contrast on my pictures. It just really makes everything nice and like dark and saturated. So I'm just going to pull it up to about 20, and I like to look at my phone like kind of far like this. I pull it away from my eyes just so I can see and make sure that it's not too much. Happy with that. Now I'm going to go into color. So again, I'm just going to mess with it. See, even adding 12 is like too much. So I'm going to leave it at 9, and that looks pretty good. Now I'm going to go into the sharpen tool. The sharpen tool will just make everything crisp and will bring out more details into the picture. So I'm going to do about 17. That seems pretty good. And then I'm going to go into the grain tool. Again, this is my favorite tool to use. And this just gives almost like a vintage effect to your pictures. So I'm going to do about 73 because you can't see it too much, but you can see the texture right there. We're going to hit the OK arrow. And then I'm going to go back and see what I like, what I don't like. I'm actually going to go into my earrings and go into the detail tool. Because again, this is just going to make everything pop. And I'm going to tap, tap, tap. Hit OK. And I'm going to see what else I like. Okay, so for example, the lash line. This picture is really good. I don't need to retouch my lash line. But there's been times where if I'm looking down and if I don't apply a gel eyeliner, I did today, you can see like the glue or the fallout from the shadow. So what I like to do is, again, pick up the paint tone, pick up the black, turn it all the way down to about 40%, and then I will go in and again tap, tap, tap. And this just makes the lash line look so much more dark. And you can't really see any like eyeshadow fallouts or anything like that, and I just love using this tool. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to save to my camera roll, and I'm going to show you guys, excuse me, the before and after so you can see what a difference it makes. So this is obviously the after and this is the before. I mean, but this just makes your pictures more interesting. They make them look more aesthetically pleasing. I love editing pictures. Like, I consider myself the editing picture queen. And the one thing that I have to say to you guys is, know your angles, know what you like as far as like your face features. What is your favorite side? For me, I always tend to take pictures with my right side because my left side is just, it's not that cute. So I always take pictures like this. I always hold to my phone, and I just open my camera. And I personally use the front camera. I know that the camera is a lot better, but I just can't get used to it. So I just take pictures, pose, you know, use your arms, whatever you, or not your arms, your hands, whatever you want. The world is your oyster. And that is pretty much it. Again, I just upload to my Instagram, put the makeup details, and that is it. I hope you guys found this video a little bit helpful, and I hope nobody gets offended. Again, it's just makeup at the end of the day. It comes off. It's just pictures. I don't think I'm being deceitful to anybody, because if you see me in real life, my makeup is bomb. that wraps it up for me today. I hope you guys have an amazing Friday. Hope you have an amazing weekend. I love you guys. Don't forget to subscribe and stay tuned for Makeup Monday, and I will catch you in my next video. Mwah. Bye.